Okay? It says, I'll read that again. Verse 6. We have heard of the pride of Moab, Chinese. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. Verse 7. Therefore shall Moab howl. Therefore shall Moab howl. For Moab, everyone shall howl for the foundation of Kir Hareseth. For Kir Hareseth shall ye mourn, surely they are stricken. So I read that again. It says, therefore shall Moab howl, for Moab, everyone shall howl for the foundation of Kir Hareseth shall ye mourn, surely they are stricken. Now, when you go into the history of Kir Hareseth, there was a fortress that was built in one of the cities that was in Jordan, and it was fortified. Okay, it was a city built by the Chinese that was in Jordan. Now, the Chinese are no longer there in Jordan. You got Arab, but in China, the way it's designed is fortified. Okay, it's basically suicide to try to fight China from the ocean. So it's fortified. Okay, it says, surely they are stricken. And in the ancient world, that land, Jordan, was taken from the Chinese. Okay, and the Heavenly Father and His Son is going to destroy China again. Okay, the Moabites again. It says, I jumped down to and He gonna take all their resources. They not gonna be living it up. They gonna go into poverty. All of that gonna be snatched from them. Okay, they living their best life. The Most High gonna snatch it. Okay. This is I'm jumping down to verse 12. Okay, let me see what we got. Jumping down to verse 12. It says, and it shall come to pass. It shall come to pass when it shall be. It shall come to pass. Dang. Bees and stuff don't make no sense. Come on, man. Come on. All this room out here, you want to come over here. All this room. All this space out here, you want to come over here and try to hinder me. That's Satan. All this room. Okay? What was I at? This is Isaiah chapter... What was I at? Isaiah chapter 16, verse 12. So I'm jumping around. Isaiah chapter 16, verse 12. And I'm going to read all the way down to 14. And it shall come to pass when it is seen that Moab is weary on the high places, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray. So when the Most High start demonstrating his power and destroying Moab, Moab gonna try to pray. You see, Moab gonna try to pray their way out of it. Okay, it says, but he shall not prevail. So your prayers are not gonna allow you to prevail. Whoever you pray to, whatever idol you pray to, your prayers is not gonna allow you to prevail, man. You see, the judgment from on high is gonna stand, man. Divine judgment, man. Okay? Verse 13. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning Moab since that time. Verse 14. But now the Lord has spoken, saying, wherein 3 years as the year of the heir, the hirelings, and the glory of Moab shall become condemned with all the great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and feeble. Now I read that again. Now check this out. Last week, I think I was talking about how big Moab was. It was this last week or 2 weeks ago, right? And I was talking about how big Moab is. But guess what? The Most High is going to depopulate Moab. Just like he going to depopulate Israel, he going to get rid of 2/3 of Israel, he going to depopulate the Moabites too, man. Okay? In this war, man. So I'll read that again. This verse 13. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning Moab since that time. Verse 14. But now the Lord, meaning YAHAWASHI, has spoken, saying, wherein 3 years as the year of a hireling. Now, say for instance, you hire a servant for 3 years, and that servant's in bondage. So he know he got 3 years to serve. So he gonna be counting down that time. He gonna be hasting to get out of that situation. So the Heavenly Father is saying the way that servant is hasting to get out of that bondage, it's going to take the Heavenly Father a short time to turn Moab, as big as it is, into a remnant, man. He's going to depopulate it. It's going to take him a short time, man. Quick. Okay? This is verse 14. But now the Lord has spoken, saying, wherein 3 years as the year of a hireling, and the glory of Moab shall be condemned. All the health and wellness, like I was saying, the health and wellness, you know, the pride of Moab, all that, man. The riches, all that. It says, shall be condemned with all the great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and feeble. So what's going to happen is Moab going to be cut down, going to be depopulated, and they're going to have a remnant, and they're going to become slaves, man. You see, up under the nation of Israel, the nigga like to know the nigga American. Okay? This is, we jumping. This is Nehemiah, right? See what we got out of, see what we can get out of Nehemiah. See what we can get out of Nehemiah, right? Where you at, Nehemiah? I think Nehemiah back here. Yeah. Nehemiah was back. I went too far. That was my fault. All right. Let's see what we can get out of Nehemiah. Right? All right. Here we go. This is Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1. It says, on that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people. And therein was found written that the Amorites, Chinese, and the Moabites, the Amorites, Japanese, it's like it back there, that was slipping the tongue. All right, it's Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1. On that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Amorites, Japanese, and the Moabites, the Chinese, should not come into the congregation of YAHAWASHI forever. Now, when you deal with that word congregation and you start searching it out, and you go into the, the different meanings of the words, you search it out, it lets you know that the Moabites and the Ammonites is not going to have any political opinion when it comes to the government of the nation of Israel. So they ain't gonna have no opinion. They ain't gonna have no say so no none of that. They ain't gonna be involved in the government of the nation of Israel. Okay? They're gonna be outside of the nation of Israel concerning politics and government and statute, laws, and commandments. They ain't gonna make no opinion about how we supposed to govern. None of that. Okay? When you search it out, okay, concerning congregation. All right, I'll read that again. This is Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1. On that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Amorites, Japanese, and the Moabites, Chinese, should not come into the congregation of YAHAWASHI forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our power turned the curse into blessing. So when we establish on the earth, the kingdom of heaven is established on the earth, Ammon and Moab, okay, is not going to be in the politics of the nation of Israel, okay? It says, verse 3, and now it came to pass when they heard the law that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. So that's what it's going to be in the future. Anybody that's not an Israelite is going to be separated from us, man. They're not going to be in the politics of the nation of Israel, man. You see, the nation of Israel is going to govern the whole world, and you ain't going to have these, like you got right now, you got, you know, the Chinese and their politics. I ain't going to be none of that. The statute, laws, and commandments going to be pushed all over the world, and none of these heathens going to be in the politics of the nation of Israel. Ammon and Moab is the heathens that I'm talking about, okay? So even when they came out of Egypt, you had a mixed multitude that came out of Egypt, and when they heard the law, they were separated. But even though YAHAWASHI did that, this time only the elect gonna be delivered, man. Only the elect of the nation of Israel. That's what it's gonna be, man. So I'm jumping, right? The numbers, see what we got. Numbers chapter 23, right? See what we can get out of Numbers chapter 23, right? I'm gonna jump around in this chapter. Numbers chapter 23. See what we can get out of this. Alright, I started the first verse. We're gonna jump around. I ain't gonna read all of it. We're gonna jump around. Alright? This is Numbers chapter 23, verse 1. And Balaam said unto Balak. Now Balaam, he was Ishmaelite, okay? He was Ishmaelite. And Balak, he was a Moabite, okay? A Chinese today. You know the Chinese today, okay? And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me for 7 ox and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken. And Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. Verse 3. And Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure, the Lord will come to me to meet me. And whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to an high place. Verse 4. And YAHAWASHI met Balaam, and he said unto him, I have prepared 7 altars, and have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. Verse 5. And the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, return to Balak, and thus shalt thou speak. Verse 6. And he returned unto him, and said, and lo, he stood by the burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab, all the princes of the Chinese, right? Verse 7. And he took up his parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, king of the Chinese, he brought me from Aram out of the mountain of the east, saying, come curse me Jacob, and come defy Israel. You see? So that's the way the Chinese was speaking, okay, concerning the nation of Israel when they was coming up out of Egypt. Because Balaam wanted to curse them. So Balaam and Moabites and the Ammonites didn't give Israel bread and water, okay? They wanted to send curses upon them, you know, so bodily harm can come to them, so they can be destroyed, okay? So that was the mind state of the Chinese, and it's like that today. Even when you read Psalms 83, you see, them Chinese, the top elites, know that we are the children of Israel, but they want to continue pushing their dominance as a world power right up under Esau Edom. And now it's coming to the point to where the Chinese are saying, look, we either gonna be equal or above you. We ain't gonna be no servants to no Edomites. So that's the way they thinking now. See, most I got them stirred up now. Most I got these either stirred up now. They gonna go to war, man. Woo! Oh, man. When I watch that news on these different, some of this news, man, I don't even bring out, man. Some of this news, man, hey, man, hey, I'm one of y'all, man, through the spirit of power, YAHAWASHI, man. These Edomites, boy, these Moabites, boy. You know, what was I at, man? I done got sidetracked laughing and, you know, being goofy, so to speak. Oh, man. All right, I'll read that again. This is, what was I at? Verse 8. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, verse 8. How shall I curse whom YAHAWASHI have not cursed? Or how shall I defy whom the Lord YAHAWASHI had not defied? Okay, verse 9. From the top of the rock I see him, and from the hill I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned amongst the nations. So what he's saying is, matter of fact, let me get that in a different translation. Let me see what I can get out of there in a different translation. Let me see what verse is that? Verse 9. So what he's saying is, let's see what I can get out of there. See what I can get. Y'all bear with me. Numbers chapter 23, verse 9. Okay? Alright. Now, what he's saying is, he's saying Israel is going to be separate, man. Israel is not going to be with these other nations. They're going to be above these nations and separate, man. Okay? But right now, we have been brought low and cursed, you know what I'm saying, pursuing the Deuteronomy 28 and 15 on down, because we broke statute, laws, and commandments, and now we like the heathens. But it's going to come a point in time to where we're going to be raised up and be separate from these nations, man. You know, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. So, I read Numbers 23 and 9. This is the New International Version. From the rock peaks, I see them from the heights. I view them, I see a people who live apart and do not consider themselves one of the nations. Separate, man. Separate. This is the New Living Translation. I see them from the cliff top. I watch them from the hills. I see a people who live by themselves, set apart from other nations. So that's what they were seeing, man. Israel was separate. Okay? This is the Amplified Bible. From the top from the top of the rock I see Israel, and from the hill I look at him. Behold, the people of Israel shall dwell alone, and I will not be reckoned amongst the nations. See? So Israel gonna dwell alone, man. Israel is gonna be separate from these other nations, man. And that's what he is seeing, man. Okay? That's what he is seeing, man. Okay? So going back to verse 9. This is Numbers chapter 23, verse 9. For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone and shall not be reckoned amongst the nations. So Israel gonna be set apart. Verse 10, who can count the dust of Jacob and number of the fourth part of Israel? 1/4 of Israel, that's a quarter. That's a quarter of Israel. Who can count a quarter of Israel? Okay? 1/4, right? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. So I read that again. This is Numbers chapter 23, verse 10. Who can count the dust of Jacob and the number of the fourth part? Okay, a quarter, a quarter of Jacob, right? Part of Israel. Let me die the death of the righteous. So what he's saying is, let me be righteous and die in favor of YAHAWASHI, like Israel. Okay? He said, let my last end be like his. So he's saying, look, let the future of the nation of Israel be like his future. Okay? So he can see that. He said, he can see that. So, verse 11, and Balak said unto Balaam, what hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse my enemies. See? Israel got enemies. Psalms 83. Read that again. Verse 11. And Balak said unto Balaam, what hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, must I not take heed to speak that which the Lord had put in my mouth? Verse 13, and Balak said unto him, come, I pray thee with me unto another place from hence thou mayest see them. Thou shalt see but the uttermost part of them, and shall not see them all. So